Welcome to Unburdened You, where you unburden your worries, understand what you need to function better, and uplift yourself. Listen up, my fellow anxiety warriors. Let's talk about something most of us deal with but rarely discuss properly: anxiety management. And before we dive in, let me say this straight. If someone tells you to calm down when you're spiraling, they clearly don't get it. It's like telling someone with a broken leg to just walk it off. Not helpful, totally annoying, and honestly, it usually makes things worse. Okay, so you're in the thick of it. Your heart's racing, your brain's doing that thing where it jumps from catastrophe to catastrophe, and you feel like you're drowning in your own thoughts. Here's what you need to know. Anxiety isn't broken, it's just doing its job too enthusiastically. The 478 breathing reset. This is your immediate go-to when anxiety crashes the party uninvited. 1. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. 2. Hold that breath for 7 counts. 3. Exhale through your mouth for 8 counts. 4. Repeat 3 to 4 times. Why does this work? Because when you're anxious, you're basically hyperventilating without realizing it. This technique hijacks your nervous system and tells it to chill. The 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. When your mind is bouncing around like a pinball, observe and state. 5 things you can see. That weird stain on the wall counts. 4 things you can touch. Your phone, your chair, whatever. 3 things you can hear. Traffic, your neighbor's dog, your own breathing. 2 things you can smell. Coffee, that questionable lunch from yesterday. 1 thing you can taste. Gum, coffee, regret. This isn't just distraction. It's bringing your brain back to the present moment instead of letting it time travel to all the terrible things that might happen. Here's something most people don't realize. Anxiety triggers aren't always obvious. Sometimes it's the big stuff, like job interviews or public speaking, but often it's tiny things that build up like emotional interest rates. Common sneaky triggers. First, skipping meals, your blood sugar crashes, and your brain thinks you're dying. Second, too much caffeine. It's shocking. I know. Third, social media scrolling. Not surprising. After all, comparison is the thief of joy and the best friend of anxiety. Fourth, perfectionism. The anxiety demon's favorite playground. And fifth, uncertainty about literally anything. The cool thing about triggers is that once you identify them, they lose some of their power. It's like calling out a magic trick. Next in line is my favorite approach. Now, here's where things get interesting. Remember those books, The Courage to Be Disliked and The Courage to Be Happy? They're based on Adlerian psychology, and they have some pretty revolutionary ideas about anxiety. According to this approach, anxiety often serves a purpose. And I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. Sometimes anxiety is our brain's way of avoiding something we're afraid of failing at. It's like a protective mechanism that keeps us in our comfort zone. The teleological twist. Instead of asking, why am I anxious? Which usually leads to more anxiety, try asking, what is my anxiety trying to help me avoid? This isn't about yourself. It's about understanding that your anxiety might be trying to protect you from something, even if it's doing a terrible job. Separating tasks. One of the most powerful concepts from these books is separation of tasks. At its core, this principle teaches us to clearly distinguish between what is our responsibility and what is not. Our true task is to focus on how we respond to situations, the actions we take, and the choices we make. On the other hand, It is not our task to control how others react to us, what they think, or whether they like us. Much of our anxiety stems from trying to manage things that are simply not ours to control. When we learn to let go of the urge to influence others' thoughts or feelings and instead concentrate on our own behavior and mindset, we find a sense of freedom and peace that can be truly life-changing. Practical daily strategies that actually work. The progressive muscle relaxation technique. This sounds fancy, but it's basically playing squeeze and release with your muscles. 1. Start with your toes, tense them for 3 seconds, then release. 2. Work your way up, calves, thighs, stomach, arms, shoulders, face. 3. Notice the difference between tension and relaxation. It's like giving your body a reset button. Movement as medicine. Exercise isn't just for fitness influencers. When you're anxious, your body is flooded with stress hormones that are literally designed to make you move. So move. Even if it's just walking around the block, dancing to one song, badly, preferably, doing jumping jacks until you're slightly out of breath, and so on. Journaling, but make it useful. Don't just write, "I'm anxious." Write about what happened, the facts, not the interpretation. What did I think about it? Your brain's commentary. How did I feel? Physically and emotionally, and what would I tell a friend in this situation? Usually much kinder than what we tell ourselves. When anxiety gets philosophical, here's where the Adlerian approach gets really interesting. What if anxiety isn't something to eliminate, but something to understand? What if it's trying to tell you something about your values, your goals, or the person you want to become? Ask yourself. 1. What would I do if I weren't afraid of being disliked? 2. Am I avoiding this because I might fail, or because I might succeed? 3. What's the worst thing that could realistically happen? Not the catastrophic version your brain creates. 4. How will I feel about avoiding this in 5 years? Now, the reality check section. Let's get real for a second. Managing anxiety isn't about becoming a Zen master overnight. So it's actually about 1. Building a toolkit of strategies that work for you. 2. Recognizing patterns without judging yourself for having them. 3. Understanding that anxiety is normal. You're not broken. 4. Knowing when to ask for professional help. Because therapy doesn't mean giving up. It means leveling up. The bottom line is to remember that you've got this. And if someone tells you to calm down, you have my permission to give them a pointed look and say, "Thanks, I'm cured." Because, honestly, that's about as helpful as a chocolate teapot.